Boo. Good morning and welcome to Ag Talking Raw, where we talk raw about agriculture and other things that are on my mind. I think that I need to actually go over and get to the Ag Talking Raw channel and see if I can get this thing so I can actually read some comments and answer those, because there's always a lot of comments on here. I did a live one last week just because I didn't have the time to do what I'm doing right now. And, of course, that makes for big trouble. And, yes, I should have done this before I got started, but I didn't. So now here we go. All right. Oh, wow. So, got a lot of comments from certain individuals. We just love certain individuals. Not all individuals we love, but certain ones. And there's actually comments on here for the last Farm Talk Live Wednesday, August 1st. You should go check those out. There's a guy with a pot leaf on his, Why the fuck can I not remember what they call that thing? And as you notice, I'm not wearing a hat because someone said, "You're bald." Accept it, Wesley. I'm bald with a big nose. Have you noticed the size of this thing? It's huge. I just noticed it because this is the most I look at myself. Contrary to some beliefs where I look at myself in a mirror all day long and talk, to myself because I'm in love with my own voice. Well, I may be in love with my own voice, but I don't look in the mirror all day long. And when I do, I have my hat on. But anyhow. All right, so should I read or not read these comments? I think I'm going to read them because it's just too comical not to. So this guy with the pot leaf, I'm not going to give you his name. It doesn't matter. He doesn't even have a channel. So it's Z00T3D1. And he's just a pothead idiot, who thinks he knows more about life than anybody else because, he's enlightened through his smoke. But him and the Mad Farmer, 912 Dave, you can check him out, I guess. I don't know if he has a channel or not, but, from time to time I talk back and forth with him. But there are 25 replies to these things. Yeah, okay, so here was the thing. It says the law does not apply to me. Laws weren't made for Wes. He is above the law. Someone should send the court the live streaming driving a tractor and trailer. Okay. All right, so I did the live stream. It even got my driver, Carl, upset. You're breaking the law. Well, actually, I wasn't because I had my handheld device holder gizmo on the dash. It glues fast. The only thing that I was doing, and I was fiddling with it, you're right, just a little here and there, but what the hell is this? Do you see that? I think I'm sparkling. That's crazy, man. Must have been at the gay nightclub last night. But anyway, the little holder gizmo basically makes me legal for less. I have it in a holder, and all I was doing was holding it because it would jiggle something terrible. So I've changed that now. I've actually glued it with my favorite product, Amazing Goop. I put that on there, and now it's pretty solid. But I haven't driven truck in a while. But I will be tomorrow morning. I have to take a load tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I got 4 loads going out for myself this week and 5 for Carl, so that gets me up to 9, and I'm pretty happy. I also believe that they're going to come up with spent and drop that off, and I'm going to be loading their walking floor, and they're going to take 2 or 4 loads back with that. So technically, I could have 8 and 5. What the hell is that? Yeah, Jesus, 8, 5 is what, 13 loads, I think, if I did my math right. It's too early in the morning to do math. So, anyways, this thing turns into a slugfest between Mr. Z00T3D1, the pothead, and Mad Farmer 912 Dave about how the guy across the river is in the right and I'm in the wrong, which, whatever. Look, when we're walking around with these electronic devices and on a daily basis, you can go to YouTube and click on cell phone selfie fails and cell phone accidents, texting accidents, whatever, and you see people fall down manhole covers, through manholes, no covers, through manholes. You'll see them walk through wet cement. You'll see them go into fountains and ponds. You'll see them blunder off the sidewalk and get hit by buses. You'll also see people on their phones and car wrecks and shit like that. It's everyday life. Now, in the old America, yes, the old America, you would be able to do that. You would be able to say, okay, you know what? Okay, Mad Farmer Dave, and you can text something to him while you're driving. Oops, I got an fender bender. I busted up my car and the guy in front of me's car. And you would go out and you say, okay, this is my name. I'm sorry I did this. And you either write them a check for the damages you did to their car, which is illegal in the state of New Jersey, by the way, or you go through the through the insurance company, which nobody wants to do anymore. The insurance is just there to appease the government, because if you do have a claim, whether you were hit or not, your insurance rates are going up. It doesn't matter if you were rear-ended or not. I've had this issue in the past. Your insurance rates are going to go up. So people don't want to, they don't want to go through the insurance companies. So, okay, even the Central Iowa farmer, he got in on this thing. So, but anyways, there's just so many comments that are on there. You ought to go and look at it. And honestly, I don't. And I can say this 1,000 times. I don't watch what the guy across the river does. I don't have time. I am running 2 YouTube channels. I would say one is very successful. The other one is fairly successful. This one being fairly successful. It has grown pretty quickly. And it's, it's all good. So, it's all good. I can do this in the mornings and then, because I'm not milking cows anymore. When I milk cows, I'd get up in the morning and I'd go to the farm and milk cows, come home, eat breakfast. Now I get up, I get on my computer, I talk, I give my points of view, I edit videos, and I put them up on 2 different channels. I only have time for this channel 2 days a week, Sunday and Wednesday. Sometimes I'll get a third one in there, but for the most part, it's Tuesdays and Wednesdays. You can come here and listen to me talk about the things that are bugging me. And I get into, what other people are thinking and doing in the Midwest and other parts of the world. So, on the other channel, it's my daily life. I filmed yesterday what you're seeing right now on the other channel, on One Lonely Farmer. So, if you don't know what One Lonely Farmer channel is, go check it out. If you don't, if you've never been there, well, welcome to my life, So I was talking last week about One American News. Only news, no opinion. Those are actual reporters. They're doing their jobs. These people are like CNN, NBC, MSNBC, CBS, ABC, all of those other ones, and Fox to an extent. They don't report. They just spout shocker stories. They're like, oh, I heard from an unnamed source that Donald Trump jerks off to Melania's brother. I don't know if she has a brother, but that sort of stuff. And then it's big news in the newspaper world, the Washington Post, Vox, and all these other Vox, VOXX, Vox, if you've ever seen that. You get all this crap, and but you go to that One American News or OAN News, and you actually get reported on factual news, or facts the way they say it. I watched a movie last night. It was made back in 1998. It was called Deep Impact. I don't know, probably 90% of you people have seen it. It's about a comet that hits the world, the Earth. Now, the reporter, was doing a story on Ellie. Ellie is Ellie, if you haven't seen the movie, they thought it was a woman. And this guy was, the Secretary of State had resigned to spend time with his family, and they're talking about Ellie, as though Ellie was a person, and, obviously Ellie wasn't a person, it was the comet. What was it? It's extinction level event, Ellie, ELE. So that's what it meant. So if you ever hear ELE or Ellie, that's an extinction level event. We're all done. Not all of us, the smart ones will live, the dumb ones will die. And, hey, that's just the way it's going to work. If you think about an extinction level event like that, like a comet hitting the ocean and a tidal wave that's moving at millions of miles per hour or whatever the hell it is, you can survive the water. The dust and the dirt that is kicked up into the atmosphere, you may or may not survive. It depends on how much food you have stored. I suggest canned goods. And definitely put seeds in storage and stuff like that. That's typical prepper stuff. But yes, if you know that it's coming within 2 weeks, well, I'd say within 2 months. They would know within 2 months. If it was like, boom, oh my God, there's a comet coming and you got 24 hours to live, you're fucked. Everybody is, unless you've got a major bomb shelter with a shit ton of food and stuff. And maybe, because a tidal wave will come in, it'll wipe everything off the top. The water will soak in. The water will soak through the soil, and if you're in a bunker that's waterproof or whatnot, the water will recede within a couple of hours. If you're at the top of a mountain or at the top of a hill, like I am, yes, I'm at the top I got the Delaware River. I'm about 400 feet above sea level. It would take a couple of hours for a 1,000-foot tall tidal wave to drain back into the ocean. It would take a little bit. There would be nothing left, and it would probably would silt over the door, of the thing. I don't know, though. But, I've never been through an extinction level event. And I don't know how in the hell I got off on this tangent. But if you look at that, well, now I do. If you look at the way she was reporting, that's the way it should be done. You should do your research before just saying, hey, here's the great story about how Donald Trump jerks off to Melania's brother. Is it true or isn't it? Not just this shocker headline and then 3 weeks of news that Donald Trump does this, and then, wait a minute. Forget about it. It's old news. It's 3 weeks old. He doesn't really jerk off to Melania's brother. Yeah, no, that stuff just doesn't happen. So, yeah, it's just report on the news. Get the facts before you spill your guts. That's the way news is supposed to be reported, and all these other, my mother and father, and, cool. One Great News Network. Okay, hoping to hear your thoughts and opinions on John Deere moving more to a corporate-owned dealer network over independent dealers. They've been doing that for years. That has been going on for years. They just, that's how you bring the money home. Independent dealers. They abused independent dealers for years. They tell them what they have to buy, what they have to stock, what they have to have. And generally it's millions of dollars worth of stuff that they may or may not be able to sell. They don't really care, John Deere that is, and actually most dealerships. They don't care if you can sell it. They stock your dealer so it looks like you're full of equipment, and you are, and they make you pay for it, or the private dealer pay for it so that it looks good on their spreadsheet. So if they have corporate-owned dealerships, they're just employing workers. That's it. It's what John Deere does. Instead of, putting 4 self-propelled windrowers in an area that only has 3 hay farmers, it just doesn't make sense, some of that stuff. So that's my thoughts on it. Do I still have the old Firecracker 4960? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Wes, I like you. You are doing great. Jim in Boise, Idaho. Thanks, Jim. Thank you very much. I don't know that I was ever doing great, but I'm doing okay. Let's say I'm doing okay, just like everybody else. If you go over to my other channel, you'll see that maybe I'm not doing as okay as you think. But yeah, that's okay. The Ariats that I've looked at all say made in China. Ariats. Oh, the boots. Yeah, they're all made in China. The ones that I had, they were made in China. I think Reebok is owned by a Japanese company, but they're sourcing them out of China. Hey, all man-made materials. I have a list of what they are made, what percentages from which country on those in the box when you buy them. All man-made materials, or minor leather uppers, and some the foam, the stuffing in the sides, or the insulation is made in the United States or the UK or God knows where. Yeah. Okay, so need to use the American-made Red Wing. Let me tell you something about Red Wing shoes. I love them. They're great. They work really well. They're expensive as hell, which is fine. I don't mind spending the extra money for a quality boot. but the heel on those is too tall for me. And what happens is when a human being walks naturally, your foot is kind of flat. You have the arch, so you're designed to land on your heel first and then your toe. That's how it works. Now, some people tiptoe, which is bad for their feet. It's bad for their back, bad for a lot of their parts of their body. They get exhausted very easily. Like if you're hiking up a mountain, you need to land on your heel and you make your foot work the way it's supposed to. With a high heel, you land your heel way too soon, and then that exerts an awful lot of pressure on the front of your foot or the ball of your foot, which causes stress on your carpal or your plantar tendons that are in the center, creating a sore foot and fatigue. So when Red Wing Boots comes out with a neutral sole or a near neutral sole, like I use through my Wolverines or my Ariat shoes, I can't wear them. I've had them. I've had good luck with them holding up. Cardinal and Georgia shoes were okay. Cardinals, I had problems with the heel rotting off when I was milking cows, because cow shit gets in underneath that heel and just rots the nails. So, and I even re-nailed them. I have actually a cobbler stand, and I've re-nailed them. I used to get my uncle to do it, and then when he died, I actually got the cobbler stand because I have fond memories of watching my uncle re-nail the heel back on my shoes. So, but that's just the way it is with that. So, yeah, when they can come up with a shoe that fits my foot correctly, then I'm good to go. I should check out the Ogden hay rakes sometimes. We run a 10-wheel, and they love it, and I love it. Well, hey, Scott, you know what? I don't even know where there's an Ogden dealer. I would really have to look. Now, here's one, Farman 44. The John Deere 100 baler is not nearly as bad as most people make it out to be, especially considering most of the people have never used one. It has its flaws, just like everything, and it's not going to beat the new balers because it's old. But they do a nice job if you know what you're doing. Okay, so I actually read that comment 3 days ago, and I went and I looked up the T100 on YouTube. Now, the T100 is essentially a Krone 8080. I think the parts, some of the parts are not interchangeable. Don't quote me on this, but I'm almost 100% sure that the Krone 8080 is not completely identical with the John Deere. It may be. I thought the Krone 8080 had a pre-charge chamber and then stuffed, not like the John Deere's continuous stuffer system. Boom, because it continually stuffs. So I don't know. So I looked this up, and there was a guy, a farmer out here. I think he was in Ohio. I'm not even 100% sure. And he pulled his T1 or his 100, John Deere 100, out of the building and used it because the Case 333, which is a 3x3 baler, had broken down, and they didn't have the parts to fix it. So he says we're going to use the John Deere 100. As it's our spare baler, but we haven't used it in 3 years, so and he just climbed up on top of it, and he was watching the knotters work and talking right along like I would do, making a pretty decent video, and I did watch it pretty near to the end. But when I got into the end, towards the end of it, he was talking about the Case 333, which the Case 333 is the same as a New Holland 330, is a 330. So the crop cutter C or standard 330 New Holland. It's the same baler essentially. It's just a different coat of paint. And he was saying that John Deere baler would out-bale the newer New Holland 330 now, or Case 333, LB 333, a large baler 333. So I was kind of shocked. I was like, wow, because the Case 100, or the John Deere 100 was built, or the Krone 8080, was built in late 90s, early 2000s. I think they stopped building them in like 04. I don't think they went any farther than 2004. Well, the big baler market was really, 1986 was when New Holland came out with their 2000 and 1000 baler, and of course the 4900 and the 4700, I think 4800. the 4800 Heston, and yeah, they were just, it was new on the market. Those big square balers were, that was when they started in the early mid 80s. Before that, you had the Heston Haystacker, or the Loafer, which would just blow hay up onto a pile and then press it down, and it had no strings to tie it or anything. But it's just those were what we had before that, and round balers before that. So, yeah. So, anyways, he's doing his test run with his John Deere 100, and he's talking about how much faster that he could go with the John Deere 100. And I was like, well, if it goes faster and you're more productive with it, what the bleep are you doing with the case? I mean, I'd have shipped the case and went back and bought another John Deere 100 if you liked it better. To hell with the case baler. And I don't know. A couple seconds later, he says they're discontinuing parts for this baler, which kind of shocked me because they did sell a fair few of them. I mean, you can go on these Tractor House and other websites, and they're still selling for $25,000 to $35,000 for that baler. And I think it was only $45,000 when it was new. And it is a Krone, so you should be able to get parts through the Krone dealerships. And Krone made a mint of those things, the Krone 8080. So if 90% of the parts fit it, I would just go buy a roached out Krone or even another John Deere 100 just to keep it going. And to hell with that case, man. I have no luck with New Holland. I had New Holland balers. I was drinking the New Holland Kool-Aid, and then I went to Krone, and I'll tell you what, I'd run a Heston or Massey Ferguson by Heston, or even the John Deere Kuhn baler long before I ever went back to New Holland. And that's just my personal, thoughts and opinions about this, because like a lot of people have said, opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one. And sometimes you should keep them to yourself. Well, I don't show my asshole to anybody, but I do share my opinions quite a lot if you've watched either of my channels. But anyways, yeah, so that's just... That's just, my thoughts on the balers. I will buy another Krone baler, even though it's expensive. And don't ride Messic's ass too hard. Those parts that I bought for the Krone baler, they're expensive to begin with. It just doesn't matter. They're just expensive. Parts are expensive. That's where these companies make their money, is on the repair parts. They don't make it on the sale of the actual machine. They pretty much sell that machine for the engineering and build costs, and then hope you go out and bust the ever-loving shit out of it so that you can, pay for it again in parts over the course of, say, 7 to 10 years. And you will. It doesn't matter what baler it is. The New Holland cost me more money in one season than this Krone has in 3. So, yeah. All right, so Arnold Rampai, Rampai. Arnold Rampai, he says, as a licensed welder all my life, disconnecting the battery is bullshit. The problem today is computer systems on equipment, battery connected or not. Welding will sometime take it out. But manufacturers don't make it easy to disconnect a computer, which is the absolute truth. You only have... You know what? Have a good solid ground on your welder. If you ground your baler correctly, or not baler, your tractor, whatever you have, if you ground it correctly with the welding wire, the ground on the welder, if it is surging between, because then it will cause the polarities to change, that's what fucks up a computer. So if you're going to weld on whatever implement it is, you don't have to unhook the battery. And I know if Carl's watching this, he's pulling his freaking hair out, and I'm sure there's a lot of other people that says, well, I destroyed my alternator. Well, the reason you did that was because your ground was not secure. And you start getting an arcing in there, and then that really just sends power surges through your computer and stuff. So, yeah, a good ground will prevent you from frying your computer, just like Arnold Rampai said. So, yeah, there it is. That's it. So now that I've got, there really wasn't a lot of comments that were, good questions or whatever. Just, yeah, right. Timmy Cornpicker. He's my neighbor, and I went to school with him. I consider him my friend. I have yet to see a see Prius cars being delivered on a truck that isn't burning diesel. That's funny. Yeah, that's funny too. He's so observant, that guy. But anyway, yeah, that's kind of funny. Yeah. Boy, you really need to go watch these. Go back to the August 1st Ag Talking Raw video and just read those comments between the Z00T3D1. I don't know what the hell what that's supposed to stand for, but whatever it is, Yeah. He just argues with everybody, and I even think that the Farming Life got in on it too. I'm pretty sure the Farming Life actually got in on this thing too. I know I saw it somewhere. So yeah, so it really, I haven't blocked the Farming Life. I just haven't, not on this channel. The other channel I did because, he was being rude and disrespectful. I know I saw him there. He might have did his delete deal too. Let's see. I really want to see it. So, anyway. No, I don't see that he's there. You're right. I think he did delete it. I don't know why, but I do believe he did. Something about having a great day. That's what I remember. Yeah. Yep. So the Farming Life deleted the... Oh, no, there it is. Elm Custom Harvesting. It wasn't the Farming Life. It was Elm Custom Harvesting. He was thanking somebody. So, he gets in on it too. Whatever. Go look at it. So, now that brings us to what's bugging me in the agricultural world today. On the One Lonely Farmer channel, I said that I will be planting corn this coming year. Yes, 2019, I will be planting corn. I have plans for about 200 acres of corn. Yes, 200 acres of corn. And you're going to see me plow, not no-till. I'm going to actually chisel plow. I'm going to kill off some hay. There's some hay ground that needs to be turned over and redone. So I'm going to kill off some hay ground. I'm going to... You're going to see me put some stuff down that you've never seen done before. And, yeah, we're going to grow some corn. Probably going to, if the crop looks good, which I'm hoping that it will, whether it's dry or wet, I think I'm going to have all my bases covered. But 200 acres of corn, I'm going to have my bin worked on, my grain bin. I'm 46 years old. I'll be 47 at that time. Even 48 when I'm emptying it, No, I'll be 47 while I'm emptying it. But that bin, it's as old as my sister. It's 40 years old. And it needs some work done to it. It's got an old concrete floor in there. I call it the spoilage central. Concrete floors just spoil corn. It's terrible. You lose 100 bushels, 200 bushels at times if it's been in there for any length of time. You can never get the bottom of that bin sealed correctly. So what I'm going to do, is I'm going to have them raise the bin, take off the two bottom sections of tin, the two bands at the bottom. I'm going to have them replace those two and add a third. So I'm going to have three. I'm going to go up one more band, possibly put stiffeners in. I don't know. I'll have to look and see what they say when I have the company come out to do this. And I'm going to put a false floor in. Am I in the grain business again? I wouldn't say that I'm in the grain business again. I'll be in the corn business again just because I have to break up this hay business. It's driving me nuts to be a one crop farmer. I'm not diversified enough. I am getting some animals again. Yes, I'm going to get some animals again because the pastures up in front of the barn, the equipment that I have up there is getting overgrown, and animals will just go in there and chew everything out from around the plows and the discs and stuff. Probably going to be moving that around today because I can't do anything else because it rained again. But yeah, so I'm going to go up three, I'll replace the two bottom rings because there's holes in them. They're rusted through, and then they'll replace those, possibly put some stiffeners in, reseal, put a new floor in, augers with a sweep, and I won't have to shovel so much. It'll just be a little bit of a shovel and a broom and the sweep auger and broom it to the center. Done. And we'll see how that goes. Yeah, that's just, it's what I want to do. am I going to get rich growing corn? Hell no. Nobody gets rich growing corn, especially at $3.25 a bushel or $3.15 a bushel. You're just not going to make any money at it. But I have a special program going on. I've made a deal with someone, and you'll see that in the coming weeks as to what I will be doing to grow this crop of corn cheap, and very cheap. And it's going to involve all kinds of things. So you'll see that, new videos coming, and I will be preparing to grow this corn now for next year. It's kind of weird, isn't it, that I'm going to start my new crop before, a crop of corn in 2019 in 2018. But you'll see what I'm doing. You're going to see it. And hopefully you learn something, because I know this works. We used a product similar to this years and years and years ago, and the way I did it back then is exactly the way I'm going to do it today, and I grew corn. Oh, Lord, did I grow corn on that stuff, and it worked really, really well. So, but anyway, yeah, I'm probably on that 200 acres of corn. It doesn't sound like a lot, but 200 acres of corn, it's enough. It's enough to make me happy. Drive my dad nuts, I guess. He says, I'm not doing it. I'm not dealing with it. Well, he's 70 years old. He doesn't have to. I just want my boys to learn something. My sons, they are, they know a little bit about hay. That's it. They don't know about corn and soybeans and wheat. They just don't. And because I stopped doing this back in 2014. Timothy used to run plant corn and stuff like that, but he doesn't really know the ins and outs. Soil conditions, planting times, and things like that, like I do, like my father does, like every generation of Pandy farmer that there ever was, and Weavers and Bryans and all those. They just need to learn this craft of growing food. That's just it. So, anyway, that's what I'm going to do. So, next year, you're definitely going to see some corn. Definitely. That is set in stone, rock solid, gonna do it. But anyways, until then, I guess I won't be... What the hell? Oh, there it is. Anyway, so thanks for watching. Please comment, rate, and subscribe. Subscribe for more. If you enjoyed this, click the like button. If you didn't like it, don't hit the dislike button. It doesn't really matter one way or the other. But, just if you enjoyed it, click the like button. And don't forget, if you've never seen One Lonely Farmer channel, maybe you'll enjoy it, maybe you won't. I don't know. But go ahead on over to OLF, One Lonely Farmer, and check that out. I think 99% of you have come over from there to this one, but, I have to say it. I just have to say it. Thank you.